All right, everyone, welcome to the third edition of Matt Cooks. Today we are going to make pretzels. It is the day of the Super Bowl, and we are going to have some pretzels to enjoy on Super Bowl Sunday. Now, we're going to start with mixing 3/4 cups of warm water. We'll go over the ingredients in a moment. We're going to get this started because this takes a little while. We're going to add, looks like we're going to add in...
Oh, and we've already finished the pizza.
Yeah, finished the pizza.
Yeah.
All right, half a tablespoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. Half a tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. And then the equivalent of 1 package of yeast, or 2.5 ounces. Or 2.5 teaspoons, rather. 1, 2.5. Okay, so there we got water, sugar, salt, and yeast combined. Just go ahead and stir that up. Allow that to sit for 5 minutes. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, now just go over what other ingredients while that gets ready. You're going to have, so we did the 3/4 cups of warm water, half a tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 package or 2.5 ounces of yeast. And that gets us up to this point. Now to that we're going to add 2¼ cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Then we're going to coat the pan after we've kneaded that into the dough, we're going to coat the pan with vegetable oil and then it's going to sit for an hour. And then for the actual cooking of the pretzels after we form them, it's going to be 7 cups of water, half a cup of baking soda, and then 1 egg yolk mixed with a tablespoon of water, and then to finish off, pretzel salt. And while we're doing that, I think the variety of stuff I've got here, we're going to have some queso dip, so some cheese dip. We've also got blue cheese dressing and mustard, so it gives us plenty of options. I've only made pretzels once, so I'm not that familiar with it. I guess a future episode could involve more dessert pretzels, cinnamon sugar, that kind of thing might be something to try out. But for now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to let that sit. I mean, it calls for 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes, you want to get that yeast activated. So we'll come back. We're just going to let that yeast continue to activate for just a few more minutes. Okay, well, as probably is not the first, or not is the first, but not the last, we had an error there. The video machine shut off, so essentially you're missing some things. But last that you saw, we had the yeast had been activated. All we did is added the 2¼ cups of flour. We added 2 tablespoons of melted butter into the yeast, water, sugar, salt mixture, and then we mix it, and then basically kneaded it for about 8 to 10 minutes. Coated this with vegetable oil, and then or put vegetable oil in the bowl. Coated the dough, and then we're going to cover it. So we had a little bit of an error there, but so you missed out on 10 minutes of dough kneading, but I think that'll be fun. So if you want to watch some dough kneading, you can check out the last episode with the pizza dough. So, but this is now good to go. We're going to pick up from here.
Instead of probably not 10 minutes last episode.
Yeah. So, but we're good to go now, and we're going to let this sit for an hour, and hopefully next time our next portion will be good to go. But I mean, The more exciting one on this is obviously getting the formed into the shape of the pretzels, and getting those also cooked in the baking soda water and all that. So you're not going to miss out on that. So we will come back after an hour. After this, we let this dough rise, and we will see you in a minute. All right, welcome back into.
Yeah, he kind of someone called, so they canceled it.
Yep, but welcome back in. But we do have, so to update, we've been letting this dough rise for a couple hours. You can do it for as little as an hour. It's been in here for about 2.5 hours, but that is ready to go. We're getting this is 7 cups of water with half a cup of baking soda, and we're getting that's gonna have the pretzels are gonna soak in that. All right, we're gonna have this okay, this ready to go. Okay, so what we have done though is we have oiled this with vegetable oil, this pan, and that is where we are going to put the pretzels after we've soaked them in the baking soda water, and then they're going to be cooked at 450 degrees for starting at 12 minutes, and then we will eyeball them. This will make 4 pretzels. So we're going to split these up into, the cookies back here. We're going to split these up into 4s. So obviously if you want to do more, you can double this recipe and just make an approximate amount as far as the water, because you're basically just soaking it in enough water and baking soda to soak them, but you could continue to do more, so that amount is probably pretty good, and that's about what you'll fit in a normal saucepan. Now we're going to get that boiling a little bit more, but essentially we're going to take the 4 separated balls of dough. And I'm not as familiar with this, so I'm winging it a little bit, but we are going to just do the best we can here. I mean, you can make it as fancy as you want. If you wanted to just simply make these instead into pretzel nuggets or something different. I don't know. You might have to adjust the baking time if they're smaller, but we'll try to make this kind of decent. Let's do a little better than that. Okay, let's see. All right. So essentially, just trying to. I think if we twist them around and then as you can see, this is not my forte. I think that's getting a little bit better though. All right. I mean, as long as you know you got a basic little. That's looking okay. It's going to be hard to really keep it together. This is not one I'm super. Like I said, super experienced at, so I'm just trying to get these into a. Alright, so we're going to get that water boiling again. We can go ahead and try to create 4 of these and get them on the pan. We've got the oven is now preheating. The other thing we'll have ready is we're going to sprinkle those as they come out with some. This salt is a little bigger, I think. I don't have any. There may be pretzel salt that in particular you can get that maybe a little bit better. This is a little bit thicker salt. All right. And then we're also, as they get on the pan, once we've done the hard part and we've got them on the pan ready to go, we're going to then, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. All right, so we're just going to create those in a slightly roundish shape, ovally heart shape there, and get them approximate. but we're going to coat those with the mixture of an egg yolk and some water to go with that. It's going to be egg yolk and a tablespoon of water. I'm probably just going to eyeball it. And any sort of thing that you bake in a dough in this way, that egg yolk bath that you spread on them can just add to the crispiness. Basically, comes out a little bit more crispy. All right. So we're gonna do that after they come out of the baking soda water onto the sheet. Okay. And those are pretty good. Pretty much ready to go. Okay. All right, we're gonna get the water boiling pretty well as we've got those ready. And we've got the pan ready for when they come out. Go ahead and move this out over a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm starting to see it boil a little bit, so we want to get I'm gonna grab something to be able to get these out of the way without damaging them too much. We're just gonna go one at a time. See how well they come out after they've been in water. Need to be about a minute. We can do a couple at a time. Oh. And as always, be very careful when now doing some cooking in hot water here, so just definitely be careful. And these are going to just be sort of approximated as far as looking like pretzels. They're pretty good shape there. They're sort of clump-like a pretzel would be. Okay, well I might go ahead and finish off my yolk and water mixture ready here. Okay. I'll be ready to go. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's good. As close as we can here, and it's a little tricky. But there's one. It's just slipping and sliding around on that oil. So, all right. It's hard to not get some water out there with them, but hey, it's not gonna have to be. Doesn't have to be perfect. I do want to flip this one over. Okay. All right, so there we've got a couple ready to go. Let's go ahead and put in our last two, and they do tend to expand in the water as well. Okay. So while those sit, I'm going to go ahead and coat these. All right. And this is just really going to be for a little added effect. They are pretty watery, so it's, probably could have just used just the yolk because these are coming out pretty watery, but get enough of that yolk on there, it'll give it a nice crispy outside. Right. All those others finish up. All right. Okay, and I'm going to use our coarse salts here. All right. Okay, I think these are good to go. Let's go ahead and maybe try to get these. We're not in any rush. We're still waiting on that oven to preheat. Maybe this time it's good to try to let these, maybe a spoon with some holes in it would be the best, but I'm just kind of trying to let them drip off a little bit. Okay. And this is not the best utensil. I mean, they're not so hot you can't handle them. They're pretty hot though, so you want to be careful. All right. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn that hot water off. All right. Okay. All right, well, our oven is preheated, so these will be good to go as soon as this is all, well, let's keep that there for a minute. All right, the rest of our yolk mixture, let's go ahead and get these coated. Okay, and finally, our last bit of salt. Okay. Okay, all right. So those should be good to go. A bit messy, a bit coming out of that water, but we're gonna go ahead and put these in the oven, 450 for 12 minutes. And then check where they are basically. And we'll be back at that point. All right, welcome back. As you can hear, the timer has gone off and we are at 12 minutes. So let's get take a quick look at our pretzels are doing. Oh, looking pretty good. I think that's probably gonna be where I'm gonna cut it off there. Now that is looking pretty good. I'm gonna 12 minutes is looking just about perfect. Starting to get pretty crispy, but these pretzels look pretty good. So we're gonna get them plated up and we're gonna have a taste test, but from sheer sight alone, these look very soft but nice and crispy on the outside. And we are looking forward to giving these a try.
These aren't what I thought they'd look like.
Yeah, I think he always, Andrew always is a little, because we used to the pretzels coming out of the bag, which are, these are soft homemade pretzels versus the, your bag of pretzels you're used to. So, yeah, but we'll give them a shot and we'll be back.
If you guys can try to make them into shape, maybe if you have this thing where you can like pour it into shapes,
Yeah.
I think that's what they do to make the pretzels that they usually do.
Yeah, but without being too, taking too much time on it or having much practice, I think they turned out pretty good. They're in pretty much basically in the size of a soft pretzel. So, we're gonna get these plated up and have a taste test. Okay, we've got these plated up and they're looking very good. Looks like these turned out very well. They're all plated up. And you're gonna try it. I've got some queso, some mustard, some blue cheese. Let's just start with some basic mustard.
It tastes like the inside probably because I'm not eating the crunchy part.
What's that?
I'm gonna eat the crunchy part.
Okay.
Yeah. It seems soft.
Here's one you want some.
It seems a bit softer.
It's very soft, very crunchy on the outside, very soft. Try with some blue cheese here.
And it has salt, just like it's supposed to. Did you put salt on this?
And they're quite good. Try some. I'm gonna try one just without any toppings. I think they're just about good enough to eat without using anything. Yeah, we're 10 minutes from kickoff, so these are good to go. So we have got, these are some soft pretzels ready to go.
They aren't really the shape of what you think pretzels were.
Yeah, but definitely the color.
At the time we're recording this, it's my dinner time, so I'm just gonna ask you, am I having pretzels for dinner?
You can have some pretzels if you like.
I mean, since Super Bowl, you know.
In addition to your regular. But these turned out really well. All I can say is looking good. I think that they are a really good crispiness, but very soft. I mean, you really can't ask for more.
Crispy? Like,
well, the outside is crispy. Like, it's not, you know, I mean, you got that outer layer with the egg yolk. Really kind of crisp that, made it a little crunchy on the outside. But very, very soft.
I don't think I'm eating the parts with the egg yolk. Because the whole thing I'm eating is soft.
Well, the inside should be soft, so that's good. Okay.
I ate the outside just now.
Okay. Well, it's not really
I'm going to peel off some outside.
You can have some more. I think they're having the...
Yeah, it's crunchy. It's crunchy.
Okay.
It's crunchy.
So you get a little crunchy there on the outside as you... If you eat these as a whole, which is probably the best way to do it, you're going to get that nice crispy outside. But these turned out really well. So, really good pretzel recipe.
I mean, if you want to make a better version, use these like pans that have like the shapes and like try to make it look kind of similar to the normal actual.
All right, we're gonna have to just get your
Last
regular
bite.
dinner here.
That was my last bite.
Enjoying these pretzels, but that is all for this episode of Soft Pretzels. Matt cooks. We'll see you next time while we think about what we're gonna do next time. So, still thinking. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.